Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new Kia e-Niro. This is the facelift. So we have the EX limited package. This is 4th out of 5. So let's unlock the car, show you the beautiful LED lights, and just walk around a little bit. So we are on 17-inch alloys, summer tires. So this car has the electric motor of 150 kilowatt power. This is equivalent to 204 horsepower front wheel drive. Battery size, this is the larger battery. It's 67.5 kilowatt hour battery, 64 is usable. WLTP range is 455. I had 426. Today was fairly warm. Maximum temperature was 30 Celsius degrees. Beautiful LED taillights. If we open the cargo space, we can see 451 liters. If you knock down the seats, 4,005 liters, if I'm not mistaken. I might have mixed it up a bit now because it's kind of late and I'm filming all day. A bit tired. Not tired to drive, but just trying to do one take video. It takes a lot of good memory jog. And what's the price of this car? Well, the price is 57,000 euros, but you can get it for, nice illumination here on the front, for 10,000 euros less if you pay cash, or if you get the government incentive, you can get it almost 20,000 euros less for 38,300 to be exact, here in Croatia. So that's a fairly nice deal. Although there's a very competitive price with other EVs that can also get the incentive, which is in Croatia 9,300 euros. So let's turn on the electronics. 0 to 100 on this car is 7.8 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be fun. So we have some ambient lights and navigation. This is the night mode. You can always have, like, you can have full screen, but it's very wide, so you can have split screen, so you can see your battery status. You can see the percentage and the range, which is quite nice because other EVs are not comfortable in their range. They hide the odometer, they show you either the range or the battery. Okay, let's just show you the radio. Can't play it for too long not to get a copyright strike. This is the JBL upgraded sound system, so it's pretty good. I would say very nice. Okay, so I've plugged my phone here. You can see there, so it's nice here. It doesn't, even if it goes sideways, doesn't fall off this. So that's okay. It's gonna show you Waze. Excuse me, Apple CarPlay. So it's a little bit brighter. Okay, let's see, Google Maps instead of Waze. Very nice, but I'm gonna keep it to the standard Kia navigation so I can see the battery. The battery, yes, it has decreased because I'm doing the video again. I was driving a bit and then I realized I was not to the point, so I like to be precise, and I just, sometimes when you're not filming all the time, it's easy to lose track where you're saying and just go, video won't be so much constructive, let's say it that way. Okay, so the car has a very nice turn angle despite being a front wheel drive. Most electric cars are rear wheel drive if they're not all-wheel drive. So there's this electric sound, but you can turn it off. I prefer it off, but it's there for the pedestrians, so it's nice to have a feature if you can turn it on or off. It's a little bit annoying because it's on even when you're stationary. Only when you're parked it shuts off, but there's a button. Okay, so I'm gonna be a little bit quiet. Not sure if the camera picked that up. So if you were watching the date point of view driving, you heard that the car is making some sounds. Might be this particular car, not really sure. It doesn't have to mean it's all cars, it just happens sometimes. So this is a press car, but fairly new, but it's making the sounds. I can't pinpoint what is making the sound. I thought first it was a seat, but it's not. It's just some plastic doing every time you're accelerating or deaccelerating. Let's try to make this green light. So, okay, Kia e-Niro. As you can see, I'm in Eco mode, just 3 modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. And this car just flies off. It's amazing. It's really impressive. Now you can change the modes. So I've set the maximum recuperation on the Eco because I want to get maximum range. But also depending on the driving mode, you get estimate range more in Eco than Normal, and Sport gets less. In this one I've set the recuperation on maximum. If I let go, it starts braking a lot. You can change the recuperation modes on the what used to be Sport Ballast in classical cars, but you can change it how you want it, or it can be an automatic mode. How is the car to drive? Well, 204 horsepower equivalently, or 150 kilowatts, is plenty for this car. I must say this car doesn't feel heavy as some other cars, like Volkswagen ID that I drove, the ID3, which has exactly the same power, similar battery size. Even the Skoda Enyaq felt like a lot heavier car, and this feels more responsible in the Eco mode, or Eco, just because of that, I believe. Steering is nice. Not sure if it really changes a lot, so I'm gonna switch to Normal now. And then in the Sport, it just feels the same. It doesn't feel like it's giving me more feedback, but it might change when you speed up. I'm not 100% sure, because I was driving mostly in Eco, to be honest. Now the acceleration is just super fast, and it has a lot of momentum, so with instant torque, I think we really need to develop a good feeling for this accelerator pedal, and anticipate when you're gonna brake, because with this car you can drive with one pedal. You just let go, and then, but if you let it go immediately, just starts subtly braking, at least with the highest recuperation mode. In the highest recuperation mode, the car doesn't coast a lot, so it gives you that the electric motor is putting up a resistance. If you switch it to Normal, where I've left 2 levels out of 3 of recuperation, then the car speeds up easily, but it also coasts easily. And in Sport it's like minimum, so it just speeds up fast and it just coasts a lot. So, but with the recuperation you're pulling back energy, so you can play with that in the driving modes. In the lowest set of the recuperation, it just starts recuperating late. That's what I've learned so far. So the ride comfort is very comfortable, I must say. We're on 17-inch alloys, but the ride comfort is good, even when you go for the potholes, for the uneven parts, for the manholes. even bigger ones. You can feel them, of course, but they're really just nicely dampened. There's not hard bang like when you're passing through them. Overview around the car is great in the mirrors, but there's some cons, and one con is the sounds that car is making. It just again might be this particular car, but it's green light, and I didn't notice the green light. That's the second con. That's going to be con for the tall people such as myself, or taller than the average. So I'm 2 meters taller, 6.6, and this car's lowest seating position is still too high for me. I can see part of the roof, and this is probably because of the battery pack, so the seat is just on top of it. So also the headspace on the rear bench is also a problem if you're a tall person. So this is a South Korean brand, Kia, and having in mind Asian people are shorter in average, I think they were aiming at average. So average person should have plenty of space in this car, but a tall person such as myself, it's an issue. So if you are super tall, I would advise you to avoid this car for that reason, because the seats are also a lot smaller. They're not designed for tall people, and despite having a lumbar support, it's just gonna have some back pain. But if you're an average person, then you should stick around. I really like this driving gear selector. I mean, they're single gear, but for the automatic, so it's nice. And I like the handling of the car. The handling is really nice. The car is an SUV size, like a smaller SUV, but there's not too much leaning if you're more aggressive. There's just maybe a little bit, and the back end doesn't stick out since this is a front wheel drive, but because of the lower center of gravity, because of the heavy battery, the car is super stable, and it just feels good and confident in the bends and the corners, even if you're a little bit more aggressive. Brakes are good, but again, the recuperation starts, and then the problem with this car is I would like it to have the full stop, so the car keeps creeping forward. So it's like a classical automatic. It doesn't fully stop, only on a uphill if you turn on the hold assist, the auto hold. So like right now, I'm just gonna, okay, so never mind. It just keeps creeping forward, and the auto hold, you will need to turn it on, and then it turns on the screen. But once you turn off the car, you have to press the button again. I'm gonna deliberately went for this manhole, and it's a pretty big one. That sounds really super wrong, but it's an English word for that. So a very good suspension. The comfort's quite decent, and I'm not gonna go for the yellow light, although it's kind of long. So the brakes are good. And checking if I've missed anything. Now we're gonna come to the highway, and I'm gonna do a little speed up to 150 because it's legal in Croatia, so we can. Why? Because we have 20% tolerance on the highway, and on local roads 10%. So yeah, but so far there's some wind picking up because it's supposed to rain. You can see on that flyer there the scotch tape, but the thing is that if you go 150, this car is quite noisy because it's a boxy SUV shape. but 130, you know, even 140, 140 slightly more wind, but 130 it's decent. Today when I was driving, or if you're driving less, 100, it's a quite decent soundproof. Also, it's interesting, the amount of customization you have on this infotainment is nice, and in the virtual cockpit. And it's interesting because this car feels like a regular car but just electric. And for those people who like to be in the control, who like a lot of buttons, this is the car for you. Most of other car manufacturers are ditching AC control, at least manual controls, but this has a lot of dials, buttons. So for those of you who like that, this is going to be a good car for you. So coming up to the highway, there's a truck here, but I can just easily speed up. Have in mind, I'm still in eco mode. Asphalt here is a little bit rougher, so it might be a little bit noisier at this point. I can hear tire noise, standard in electric cars, and slightly some side mirror wind noise. So I'm gonna turn on the cruise, put it to 100, then I'm gonna speed up to 130 so you can hear the noise. Going 140. And 150. So now switching to normal. So if I want to speed up, it's fairly fast. If I go to the sport, it's going to lower my speed here, and then just punch it. It just flies fast. But we're going to keep it in the eco. So LED lights are nice and bright. You don't notice in the city as much, but outside the city you can see they're fairly good. They're not good as matrix lights, but they have lenses and they're pretty good. This is the long beam. If you push the turn signal lever or the light lever towards the screen, there's automatic long beam. So it's a nice bright illumination, turns off the incoming traffic. The safety assists, so we have the distance, which is nice, and we have a lane assist. Now there's no one behind me. I'm going to deliberately touch the lane here, and then it beeps. If I go to the side as well, and listen, watch this, just it keeps you in the center, so it doesn't bounce you left and right. I did it push to the one side and the other one, but when you let it go, it keeps you in the center. It doesn't bounce you left and right like a ping pong ball. So that's really good. So unfortunately camera does recognize the speed limits, but it doesn't drop your speed accordingly. So I wish I had that feature. Now we're gonna slow down here. This is our exit, and I must say that this car overall feels very good, despite two cons that I really found. That one might be just particularly this car, and maybe it could be just fixed, and the other one is related to the fact that I'm taller than the average. So this car might not be good particularly for me personally, but for the rest of you who don't have that issue of being too tall, like myself, then for you this car would be perfect, you know. Spacious car if you're an average height person. Now I can switch here to the limiter, so I can limit my speed. So over here we have a speed limit 80, the percent is 88. So you can also add here, you can see the speed you're actually going, so that's nice. If you're in a country with strict speed limits such as Austria, when you're traveling to such a country, you can just easily put the speed limiter and then you feel safe because you aren't speeding, you're driving according to the speed limit. So that's a nice thing there. Some of my regular audience were complaining, why am I not driving on the right lane? Here you go. There's no law saying that I have to drive in the right. I can drive in the middle or in the left. When there's traffic, this is night, then I usually, if I'm slower, I drive in the right or in the middle, of course, and I let go the people who are faster than me. Speed limiter off. And now over here it says a limit 130. This is only for the Eco Drive, which you can set, or you can lower it as well, in case you want to prevent yourself from going faster, and if you want to just you know, go for a long trip and just get maximum range. So I'll hold this on. You also have here some 3D buildings. The navigation's nice. It has charging stations. It actually says here like what's the nearby, what's the closest charging station. So that's a nice detail. And if we go back here, so let's go to Apple CarPlay. It's a little bit bright on this menu, but if you go into one of these, then it's not too shabby. A better route planner for some reason doesn't work, or is just taking too long to load. Really not sure. You also have Waze, plug and share, so you can see all the available charging stations, but with a little bit more detail. Like if you go to this one, usually just gives you some information, but I haven't played it with this on the infotainment. I just play on the actual app on the phone. Okay, I'm gonna come to the area where there's no street lights, so we're also gonna check the automatic long beam in pitch black. So when I spend a lot of time in cars testing them, I would say at least half of the cars I get lower back pain because I'm spending a lot of time in the cars. I do exit them, I film them, but just sitting in the car driving for, I don't know, 4 hours or more, it's sometimes painful. So here's the automatic long beam. Nice. So I think this car would be good if I wasn't so tall. Regarding the comfort on the seat, so far I've only driven the Tesla Model 3 that I was like shocked that I have felt nothing, no back pain. They're so comfortable and no tiredness after driving, and with EVs it's just a lot less stressful and a lot less tired when driving electric cars, because there's no extra noise from the internal combustion engine, and when you get a feeling for the acceleration, you drive gradually, it's just also very nice and smooth. Just gonna stop here and show you the lights. Long beam, short beam. I'm gonna take my iPhone and share some photos as well, because it has a better night sensor, a sensor at the night. So this is the normal beam, and then the long beam. Okay, no one behind us. Late night. Full stop. Switching to sport. I can turn off the traction, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna punch it here and see how we go. Official time is 7.8 seconds. So that was fun, exciting, but with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility. Drive safe. So this is only for the demonstration test when there's no traffic, for the safety. Okay, so the e-Niro is, I think, a great car when it comes to range. Same as the Hyundai. Very impressed with the range of this car. So the cars that had a test so far, the best range was the Tesla, Kia definitely, and Skoda. The Volkswagen ID that I had on test was kind of, how should I put it, early car that didn't quite have the software, but I think now they should be also fairly good. But just in the last year, the EV, the electric cars are getting better in range, and in the next few years the batteries are going to get more affordable. So definitely looking at that, that will help the transition. So looking at the future of electric mobility, the prices will come down as well. So this car costs 57. Kia offers 10,000 euros and maybe slightly more discount if you pay with the cash here in Croatia, at least, and you can get government incentive, which is 9,200 300 euros. So combined, that's almost 20,000 euros down the price. So I believe the exact price was 38,300 in Croatia. So but that price is very competitive. So putting Kia in that place, it has an advantage of a good range, but maybe it won't have it for too long. Space wise, it is okay. Skoda Enyaq is a lot more spacious car, but if you look like Hyundai Kona, it just lacks space in the cargo area. This is a lot better. And I think this is still a good bargain in some countries. So I would recommend the car if, again, you're not super tall. I should consider this car because it has a really good range and technology in the package, and it's a very comfortable ride. For me, I was pleased with the car, despite some cons. They're more maybe of a personal issue, at least the major one that I had. Coming to the end, ending the video in the garage. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe if you like the content, and in that case click the little bell to get notifications when I upload a new video. So, window down. The rear window doesn't go all the way down, almost. So I like to end it in the garage, so you can see the interior with some lights. So this is accelerating with no sound on. You can hear the tires. And now I'm gonna turn the sound on. Wow. And now I'm gonna reverse so you can hear it. So that's the sound for the pedestrians, up to maybe 40 kilometers per hour. But I'm gonna turn it off. Just to show you the rear camera. It's kind of grainy when it's dark. It's good when there's a lot of light. So yeah, that's it. But I like EVs because they're silent, at least at lower speeds. So I think I'm gonna park here. You can see the garage, it's after 10 o'clock in a night saving mode. Not too many lights are on, but there are some lights. When it comes to parking, I like to use the mirrors. It's a lot safer because of the fisheye lens. Sometimes just they can fool you, so I'd rather be safe than sorry and damage a new car. Or just, okay, we're good, I think. Now I can use the cameras, and that should be good. So, window up. Parking light on. Electronics off. Don't forget your smartphone. Don't forget your keyless key fobs. Happens a lot to some of us. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope I'm gonna see you in the next video. And until then, stay safe at the road. Stay safe at home. And hope you like the Kia e-Niro. Leave the comments below what you think about it, and smash the like button. It helps me a lot with the algorithm. Until next one, bye.